Have you ever thought about putting solar on your house, but you don't know where to start? How about those annoying people that knock on your door while you're eating dinner and they ask you if you want solar? Well, that was what I was going through until I found a local company right here in Livermore, Your Energy Solutions. And I hired them and I had the best experience ever. So today we're in the showroom with one of the owners, Lou, and we want to just talk about his company, how he got started. And the most I want to really talk about is they are local and you can come to their door in their showroom and meet the crew. They're not some fly-by-night outfit that just blows into town, installs solar, and leaves. Hey Lou, how you doing?
Good, Ramesh. How are you? Thank you.
Good. We want to know a little bit about your energy solutions,
Yeah.
how long you've been in business, how you got started.
Right.
If you want to give us a little.
Yeah, we started in 2008, way back when solar was not that popular, and ever since we've been growing to a good-sized company right now. We're local, like you said. We're in Livermore. We're only, don't do every work we do is not subcontracting. Everything is in-house, from design to installation. We're a family-owned company, and we take pride in our work.
Wonderful. I know I had his designers design my whole system. And then I had a gentleman come out to my house. He went into my attic space, did everything. Your team was very, very professional.
Thank you.
The emails, always keeping me up to date, giving me the timeline and sticking to the timeline. And when there's a change, they would tell me ahead of time. So I really like, what you guys did. And I noticed on your window, you have neighborhood favorite. If you guys know about next door, our team has gotten neighborhood favorite 4 times. So they're a neighborhood favorite and they have 5 stars on Google and Yelp. You can look them up. So one of the questions I had for you, what are the biggest benefits of switching to solar?
Okay. Well, obviously, the first benefit is saving money. Most people want to do
Right.
it for savings. A lot of people like the environment aspect of it, saving the environment. Obviously, that's a good benefit, green energy, and independence from PG&E with some outages that have been happening lately.
Yeah.
So having a battery with your solar system will allow you to get power when the grid is down.
Wow. And I don't know how about you guys, but I hate PG&E bills. And it seems like the last 4 or 5 years, they're just ripping us off. So I like the idea not having PG&E take all the money and generating our own power. Another question. How much can homeowners realistically save on their energy bills? How does it look like?
So that depends on how much you spend on kilowatt hours per month. Typical homeowner, depending on, there's several factors. What we do is typically when we have a consultation, we look first at your usage for the last 12 months. That gives us an idea of how much power you consume. Then we interview, we ask you, do you think you're going to get an electric car, a spa, something that could change the history of your usage? And then based on that, we'll try to design a system for you. And typically, if you have the roof space for it, some people get to zero bill. Some people want to get as much as they can. Some people want to get even more power than they use because they think they might be using more in the future.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people ask us, do they need a battery with their solar?
Correct.
Can you answer that question for
Yes,
us?
absolutely. So with the recent changes with PG&E and the NEM 3.0, you do need a battery. And the reason is before NEM 3.0, the grid was usually your battery. So you had a solar system on your roof. If you generate power, you don't use. Typically, it goes back to PG&E. You get credit for the same value that you pay for the kilowatt hours, and they store that for you. But with NEM 3.0, that's no longer the case, as they will not pay you. They only pay you 3 or 4 cents per kilowatt hours, but you buy it at 30 or 40 cents. So it doesn't work.
Got it. So
To your
what
advantage.
if you have had solar for the last 5 years before the new
You
rules?
grandfathered in for those. If you have NEM 2.0 or below before that, that's fine. This is still okay. But for newer systems, you do need a battery. And 2 things that you can do with a battery. You can do a backup. So that will help you if the grid is down, you still have power. But if you don't need that, if you're in an area that you don't experience a lot of outages, you can still get a battery for what's called load shifting. Basically, what happens if you have a solar system and it's overproducing because you're not consuming that power, instead of sending it to PG&E at a lower rate, you will store it in your battery. And then at night, when you need power, instead of buying it at a higher rate from PG&E, you start depleting your battery.
Got it. So every night it would deplete it.
Exactly.
Kind of like your phone. You use the battery,
Right,
and then it
and then
charges
charge
back
it
up in the
through
day.
solar.
Right, through the solar.
Exactly.
And how long does it take to charge? Let's say this Tesla battery right here.
Yeah.
How long does it take to charge this whole battery?
From solar,
Yeah.
it depends. If you're consuming while your solar is producing, it's going to charge less because first the solar is going to give priority to your loads at your home. But typically, a few hours it will be charged.
A few hours.
Most of the time, it doesn't just charge and stays idle. It's going to be constantly between charging and depleting cycles throughout the day.
And how long would this last? Let's say two questions, right? Last in terms of years,
Right.
And then last for one day. Let's say it's fully charged. There's no power. PG&E's down.
Yeah.
We don't have any
It's
power.
hard to answer how much, everybody lives differently. If you live in a house where you have a lot of, lights and...
Let's say average two kids.
Yeah,
and
it could put you through like a whole day.
A whole day.
If you're careful, you don't have ACs running and pool pumps and what have you, then it will work.
So a typical family, you would recommend one or two batteries.
Again, most of our customers, they start with one, and then you can, if you have a larger home or you want to spend, you have you use ACs and AV chargers, you might want to get a second battery.
All right, so you heard it, everyone. The rules have changed with solar, and you need to get a battery now in order to use all the power that you're making. It's no more that you can sell it back to PG&E for top dollar. It's gone down in price 3 to 4 cents. So now you're getting 3 to 4 cents per kilowatt. Is that right, Luke?
Correct. If you overproduce.
If you overproduce, so some of us are overproducing.
It doesn't
and we're
make
losing money.
financially. It doesn't make any sense to send back power to PG&E.
Right
now from solar.
Right. Okay. And if you want to get your stuff looked at, Lou and his team can look at your PG&E. They can look at your current solar. Reach out to us. The information is there, and then we'll hook you up with Lou and his team.
Perfect.
That sound good?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you.
Appreciate
for
it.
coming. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.